Hey guys, this is Dana of Tabitha's Treasures. I am Dana, not Tabitha. Anyway, I'm actually thinking about changing the name of the channel because I'm kind of tired of being called Tabitha, but I mean, I don't, try to correct anybody either, so, occasionally I'll say, I'm Dana, and I've been pretty mindful about leaving comments and saying, like, much love, Dana, so people know who I am. But, so I got a whole assortment of things to talk about today. We are in a new year, and it's started off pretty good. Kind of shaky here and there, but overall, I think it's going to be a good year. First off, I want to talk about whips. I have a ton of whips. Like, they're already done. I just gotta, assemble certain things and tie everything together. So let me get on with that. I started a project for my mother. It is the Habitat cardigan by the Make and Do crew. I have the sleeves for the cardigan already done. Here's the sleeves. I got both of them done. I just need to put them on. Ooh, I got lots of yarn going everywhere. And pull it out of here. It's pretty heavy. Let me see. I'll move you out back for a minute. This is what it looks like. So it's a pretty big cardigan. It's going to be nice and loose and comfortable, and she can just throw it on to go out real quick or dress it up or whatever she wants to do with it. But I don't know if y'all could see this or not. This is Red Heart with Love in the color Tiger Lily. So I did the shawl collar. I did the tushy extension, so it will go over her hiney. And so all I have to do are put on the sleeves, and I'll be done with this, because I've already actually woven in all the other ends. Yeah, so the only thing I got left to do is put on the sleeves, and that will be a finished object. So, and I'm so bad, I procrastinate a lot. Like, this could have been done days ago, but, I've been in, really just kind of trying to take it easy, and anyway, I won't get into all that. So, on, New Year's Eve, my little fatty, my fat cat, he scratched me on my leg pretty bad. Like, it's really kind of a superficial cut on my leg, but, my skin on my legs are, for some reason, they're very thin, and I've already got scar tissue right where he scratched. So that really kind of just opened up, and whew, it bled everywhere. Joe was really quick. He came and applied pressure, put alcohol on it, and we cleaned it up, and he managed to get the blood out of my comforter and cleaned up the mess. And yeah, so I saw my wound care doctor the other day, and so I was already seeing a wound care doctor, by the way, for those of you who are new to the channel. I've been battling lymphedema ulcers for, this will be the second year. Like, I've been in treatment far longer than 52 weeks already. So those wounds that have been a previous issue, she just told me that I am a viable candidate for a skin graft. on that area. So something that I need to do so that these wounds will heal and I'll be done with them. Like, I am so over these wounds. I can't even tell you how ecstatic I am about the thought of getting rid of these wounds. But now that I have the cat scratch, she wants me to get that healed up first before we tackle the skin grafting. So, more waiting. But little fatty, he didn't mean it. He didn't mean to hurt me. He was just spooked. The dogs were acting up and jumping all over the place, and he's one of those that'll get out of the way quick. And I happened to be laying here, and he tried to come up on the bed and in a hurry and got me instead. So, but he didn't mean it. And I still love him. He's my baby. Anyway, okay, moving on. Another work in progress are the 8 ear warmers that I was doing for a girlfriend of mine who is in a motorcycle group, an all-women's motorcycle group. She requested I make ear warmers for all the girls, and their colors are hot pink and black. So I've got, ooh, that looks red. I assure you that is hot pink. That is not red. It's kind of, yeah, that coloring's not really very, very good. But I've got them all done. I just need to join them, and then she can come get them. So I've got 8 of these, just like this, with the black border, because that's what she wanted. She wanted the black border. And I'm actually surprised because this is like the like a rib knitted crochet stitch, and it's really stretchy. And I thought putting you know, a border on the edges would make it less capable of stretching, but it stretches pretty well still. So I'm glad for that, because she wanted them kind of tight so they don't fly off when they're on their motorcycles, which makes sense. So they will be a little bit snug on the head, and I didn't want them to be any snugger than that with the border. So that's a good thing. That's another work in progress. I did finish this, what I call my Sunday shawl. I had been working on it most of the time at church on Sunday mornings. I can't sit there and hear a monotone speaker, because I'll fall asleep. I'll knock out. That's just it. I can't even sit here and just watch TV without having something in my hands, because I'll fall asleep. So this is my Sunday shawl. This is what I work on at church. And I finished it, but I need to weave in the tails. So yeah, just a basic granny stitch triangular shawl. This is done in the Mandala Baby Cakes, and the colorway is Wishing Well. So, and I think that is so pretty. I just happened to run out of yarn. I played yarn chicken and I lost right here. And I don't think it makes much of a difference. I took just a little bit from a different cake, a different mandala cake. You can't even really tell once you hold it up. I mean, unless you're really looking for it, I don't think anybody will say, oh, that's, you know, that shouldn't be there. But, yeah, that's done. All I got to do is weave in the tails. And that is another finished object. And I've actually been working on this one for quite a while, because like I said, I only was working on it on Sundays. So that'll be finished once I tie in tails. My next work in progress, actually I started this on, I want to say I started on New Year's Day. It is a C2C, a corner to corner, that I am doing for Sylvia's husband. Hoping to have it done and completely finished by his birthday, which is not for a few months, but I wanted to get an early start on it and get it finished. It is corner to corner in burnout pop, and I believe got another cape over here. Get out of there. It is called Birch Bark in Blue. It's the burnout pop. I had gotten a bunch of these skeins cakes from Walmart when they were having the big clearance sale this last year. So I have like 4 or 5 of these. And for the border, I have some of this cream color that I'm going to put for the border. So that is going to be a little bit of a project there for the next, I don't know, couple of weeks, I guess. Hopefully that's all it'll take, is just a couple of weeks. But I have also been working on my mother. She is always requesting hats. She wants one in ivory, she wants one in black. And so I had already finished a hat to go with that, to go with the Habitat cardigan, but my friend was going to Colorado, and since it's so much colder there, I had already pre-made those hats, and I told her, here, just take those and you and the kids can wear these hats, because, you know, it's cold. So I had to redo the hat that I made for my mom, and because I had another skein of yarn, I'm almost done with it. It just needs the border put on. This is my new go-to hat pattern. It is that pattern by Lion brand that I got off the ball band. It's called the ridged crochet hat. It is a, did I say Lion brand? It's a red heart ball band pattern. I got it off the ball band of the red heart skein, and I'm pretty sure that it's probably on the website. So, but I love this pattern. It's super duper easy, and it's pretty. I like the way that it works up, and it's really soft. So this will be another finished object here pretty soon, and that will go with my mother's cardigan that I just finished, or that I will finish. Also, I have in this little bucket over here, I have the ivory that I've already started. I'm gonna make the Leona beanie by the Dabbling Hook, Laurel at the Dabbling Hook. It's just a black and white photo, but I believe it is a paid for pattern. I think I paid for this one. It's the Leona beanie by the Dabbling Hook, and that will be done in this ivory color. And then she wants one done in the black, a black beanie. I'm not really sure what pattern I'll use for this one though. I kind of didn't want to make all the same, so I kind of wanted to change up the pattern a little bit, or find different patterns. Come on, kitty, get out from there. So I'll find a different pattern for this, the black one. And I had been wanting to start this pattern by Miss Jane over at Scraptastic Yarn. It is her spring garden shawl. This is also paid pattern, I believe. Yeah, it's a paid pattern. So I wanted to start that here pretty soon too. And let's see what else. Oh, Joe and I had gone to his sister's house for New Year's Eve. We had dinner and watched movies with them on New Year's Eve, and just really enjoyed ourselves. And his oldest niece, Priscilla, said that she wore her cowl that I made her to work one day. And one of her coworkers saw it and really liked it and commented on it. And she said, "Oh, my aunt made it." And she goes, "Oh, well, do you think that she can make me a really long super scarf type deal?" And she wanted it in pale yellow. And my niece was like, "Well, yeah, I'll ask her." So she came and told me about it. And I was like, "Yeah, I'll do it." And she was like, "Well, how much will you charge for it?" And I'm like, "Nothing." And my niece was like, "No, I'm going to ask her for at least $15 for a scarf for her." So I'm going to have to, I actually found some pale yellow in my stash the other day because I had to pull out some things from the stash, and it was a deep dive in the bottom tote. So this is the Bernat Baby Sport, and I thought that would be a really soft scarf. And I'm thinking maybe since it's such a big ball that I can just double it and make it thicker. So, but we do live in South Texas, and it's not that cold, y'all. Like, really. It's, well, from one day to the next, you never know. It'll be 40 degrees one day and then 70 the next. So it was really ugly and rainy earlier this week, and now the sun is out. And I mean, it's still pretty chilly outside, but it's not rainy and cold like it was. But yeah, so I'm gonna work up a scarf in this stuff. She didn't give me no specific time or anything that she wanted that done, so yeah, so I'll do that. I'm also gonna keep track of my patterns. I got Terry from the Yarn Joy podcast one of these books also. It is a coloring week at a glance diary type deal, and it's got pages where you can color, but over here on this side it's got a place where you can mark your week out. And the good thing about it is there's no dates, so you have to fill in the dates. So I'm taking one day at a time and just writing down what I'd like to do on each day. So that's good. I also came up with some goals, and it's, well, not goals, I call them intentions. And it's funny because Jane over at Scraptastic Yarn had made a video about her, goals for the new year or whatever, but she called them intentions, and I had already written 2019 intentions in my book, and I've been making this list since the end of November. I started writing down things that I wanted to achieve or attempt in the new year. So a lot of it is crochet related. Like, I don't really have any intentions per se for this channel, but I do have a lot of intentions for my crochet work. So just to name a few, because there's quite a lot, I'll tell you. The first one is to send out large donations twice a year. Large donations twice a year. To Lottie at the Crochet Ministry and Charlie's Love. And maybe smaller boxes like every 3 months or so, or whenever we get a small box together and we can afford to ship it. And when I say we, I'm talking about myself, Joe, and Sylvia, because we're the ones crocheting. So the next one is to have at least 50 hat and scarf sets for December of next year, or this year, December of this year, for the church. The next one is to get involved in at least 5 cowls if they coordinate with my charity goals. If they don't coordinate with my charity goals and I can make it for, like, say, a gift, like, I want to start early on Christmas gifts this year. Yeah, we want to, right? But anyway, that's why we're calling it intentions. So I want to get involved in at least 5 cowls. And the next one is do at least 1 international yarn swap in 2019. And, you know, not working and not having an income myself, it's really hard to keep up with everybody and their swaps. And, you know, I have to be mindful about what I'm doing because I cannot overspend. My finances are not like a lot of people's, so I have to keep my finances, in check. So I do want to do at least one international swap, and I've already chosen that it's going to be Gypsy Rose. So that should be fun, and I'm definitely socking a little bit here and there away so that I can afford to ship and send her a really nice package. The next one is to make a sweater or a cardigan for myself for next winter. My being a super plus size woman, I'm not sure how much yarn it would take, but most of the patterns that I've seen that are suitable for my size, depending on what yarn is used, it's like up to 10 skeins of yarn. So there is no way I have 10 skeins of any color of yarn, but I do want it to be mostly one color, like just a solid color, or maybe done in like a variegated yarn. I haven't decided yet, but I do want to make at least one sweater or a cardigan for myself. The other one is begin one Christmas gift per month. Just making something and stocking it aside for, like, say, I already know that I'm making for my mom and for my aunt and for the nieces. So if I find yarn or something, or make something that I think one of them would like, I will just sock that away somewhere and say that's a Christmas gift. Another one is make a full-size blanket, which, I don't know if this is going to be a full-size blanket or if I'm just going to make a throw for Sylvia's husband, because he is bedbound. He's got MS, and she's his primary caregiver, of course. And so he's not in a full-size bed. He's in a, regular hospital bed. So that probably won't be it, because I want to do a full-size blanket, like a full size, like maybe a queen or a king. And our bed is a queen, so if it fits my bed in there, then anyway. Have on hand at least one boy and girl baby blanket with beanies to match, because at some point in the year, somebody is going to be having a baby. And I'm always like, you didn't tell me you were pregnant. So I want to have at least something on hand at all times that, I can gift right away. another thing that I want to do is make a can or a tin of pom-poms and accent flowers and such, because I am a procrastinator and I do not like doing those things after I've already completed a whole project. It's like, ugh, you mean I really gotta make that now? So I'd like to make a whole bunch of things that, you know, will go with anything or whatever, you know, and just sock them away in a little tin. Anyway, I want to also make a Afghan blanket to go kind of like with the theme of the whole blanket deal. This last year, I joined Terry in the fall wall hanging Afghan, and that I really liked the way it came out. I did pretty good, so I want to try to do a blanket. And I'm not talking, you know, a full-size Afghan blanket like Petra did with the, what do you call that? Pennywise. That is a work of art, guys. Like, I would never be able to do that. That is it's large, like, huge. I'm just talking about a small little Afghan. Maybe that'll be the baby blanket that I have stashed away. Who knows? So I did write down something for the channel, and it's to put out one video every other week, and to do one Veda vlog every day, either April, August, or something like that. So every other week. I mean, I haven't really had any set schedule of when I'm gonna post a video or upload a video, but in fact, I've been pretty inconsistent about it. Like, it's just whenever the mood strikes me to do a video. And when it's quiet enough to do a video. So yeah, I want to at least do one every other week, if not more. Depending, I guess, on what I have going on. Like, if I have objects that are finished to show, or want to talk about a whip or whatever. The next one is stitch from my own library when it's possible. Because, you know, like, I have a whole lot of free patterns. And for the most part, I do pretty good reading patterns. Like, I don't really have that much trouble reading a pattern. But, you know, everybody has their own technique or way of writing. And sometimes when I find a new person, their writing style is different, and I don't understand it. So when it's possible and I have a free pattern, I'd like to use the free pattern rather than having to run to the library and print off more patterns. So, sorry, my nose is itching. Next goal is take a knitting class. I really, 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 really want to learn how to knit. So, I have a Joann's right up the street, and if there's somebody there that is hosting a class for knitting, then I'm going to try to jump on that. Next is make an item over the weekend to sell at the craft fair. So, my friend's daughter started doing craft fairs. She's the decal lady, the one that did the Tabitha's Treasures mugs for me. And she started doing a craft fair last year. And it was in November. I think it was just after Thanksgiving. She started doing a craft fair. And she asked me if I wanted to join her, if I had anything she wanted me to, or that I wanted her to take. She asked me if I had anything made that she could sell for me. Anyway, I said no, because at the time I didn't have anything that I thought would be suitable to sell at a craft fair. So she said, well, since you have advance notice, she goes, I'll be doing it again next year, and so you know, you'll have time to make something to sell. or some things to sell. So that's what I want to do. I would like to at least try to sell a few things, and not because I want the monetary gain, but because yarn donations are very sparse. It's just the way it is. So instead of Sylvia and I having to go and purchase yarn coming from our pockets for the donations and such, I thought it would be a better idea if we made from the stash to sell and then replace the yarn that we used and then some. So that's an idea. My next one is make an attempt at 2 amigurumi. I have had such bad luck in doing amigurumi. I know. Like, everybody I see on YouTube is phenomenal. I think primarily I am a garment maker. Like, I do not, I am, ugh, I cannot sew. To save my life, I cannot sew. And a lot of amigurumi requires that you sew pieces together, and guys, I cannot sew. But anyway, that's a plan. I mean, I've already started the Can't Catch Me cowl snowman. I got 2 of the circles done, but I got sidetracked on other things, and Christmas came along, and I don't have to explain it to you. You already know. My next one is to finally get my granny squares assembled. I have a whole bag sitting over here of granny squares, and I have a yarn to join them with, and still haven't even touched it. So that's another thing. Is another goal for myself. Do not overextend yourself and put undue pressure on yourself. Life happens. With my health issues and things, and how many times I was in and out of the hospital last year, I just know that you can't always make plans to perfection. Like, sometimes it's just not going to happen, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's beyond your control. So, life happens. There's a Bible verse that says that man may make plans, but the Lord establishes his steps or his path. True. My next one, it includes this.